The Sling Shot. I too played Angry Birds, I know how those work. The Sling Shot was first released in 2002 and was designed by Nathan Prosch. This is a sleek, stealthy supercar with a ton of character. Slingshot is another one of the most beloved designs to come out of the 2000s era of Hot Wheels, and for very good reason. The name Slingshot is derived from the top-down silhouette looking kinda sorta like a slingshot, but not really. The sculpt of this car gives me heavy McLaren F1 vibes. It may seem like a strange comparison at first, but really, look at them side by side. The way the body flows, the way the taillights are designed, and how the rear ends are spaced. Also compare that F1 style roof scoop with the one on the GTR. I'm not 100% sure that's what it's based off of, and I'm probably talking out of my ass, but hey, what else is new? If you know me, you know I usually dislike when cars don't have discernible headlights. But after seeing depictions of this thing with headlights, thank fucking God they cut that. This has to be the slickest Hot Wheels car ever made. The body of this thing flows really nicely. It's really sharp and angular, and it perfectly balances its elegance and gracefulness with a seriously aggressive edge. Downforce is clearly the name of the game with this car. And with this stature, it's planted so hard it's practically sinking through the fucking floor. The split in the body towards the back is where this car's character truly shines. In fact, I don't know if it's just me, but it makes the back of this car look a bit like a superhero's cape. It's sick. And this tri-dot taillight design is just phenomenal. The gap allows us to see its intestines too, in all their mid-engine glory. It's also really intuitive with how the roof scoop so naturally and seamlessly runs up from the motor. Overall, what more is there for me to say? In my opinion, it's one of the most definitively perfect Hot Wheels designs ever created. So I've got my 2001 First Editions version, my 2008 All-Stars version, my 2010 Crisscross Crash 5-pack version, Jesus Christ, that's a mouthful, my 2011 Track Stars version, and my 2025 Acceleracers Silver Series version. This car would end up being retooled in 2014 as a result of Mattel's change of production practices. We can see the difference between the Silver Series and First Editions versions, where the two sides of the body are connected at the rear in order to accommodate a two-rivet design. The original had this tab down here, but it had to be changed so that a machine could put the car together, as this original design could only be assembled by human hands. So they had to simplify the design in order so that the machine could do it, because fuck the working class. As a result, not only did the two sides of the body have to be connected, but the roof scoop had to be shrunk a bit. And in an even more courageous statement than me saying I like the Modifighters last episode, I'm going to proudly sit here and say that I think this retool is fine.
What the hell did you just say?
I know some people don't like this retool, but it doesn't really bother me. It's not nearly as egregious as some other retools Mattel has shat out. At least it doesn't completely ruin the overall appearance of the car. In fact, I'd go as far as to say it's one of the better retools they've done. And hey, it's worth the retool if it means they'll still keep the car around. Either that or their kill list is full. But that's not all. Another part of why this car is so iconic was its presentation and presence in Hot Wheels' other ventures. This car was heavily featured in Hot Wheels media throughout the early 2000s. This is probably one of the most heavily utilized cars from that time period not named Diora 2. To start, it obviously was featured in World Race and Acceleracers, driven by Kurt Weill. It's one of the major cars in that film, especially with it pulling double duty for the character of Z36, the mysterious evil version of it, adding to one of the most predictable twists in the history of storytelling. Who could it possibly be? This car also featured in multiple Hot Wheels video games, most notably World Race, Stunt Track Challenge, and most recently, Hot Wheels Unleashed. I've really come to love it in Stunt Track Challenge, aside from its grotesque appearance. Stunt Track Challenge is not a game I had in my childhood. I only actually got around to playing it like a year ago now, but it's really great slash fucking infuriating. But it's probably one of my most used cars in that game. But the Slingshot is another one of those cars that I just had kind of a weird relationship with. As a kid, I owned it and played with it a ton. However, I truly never came to appreciate it until fairly recently. It was a car that was always just kind of there for me as a kid. I never got too attached to it. Nowadays, it's still not necessarily one of my favorites of all time, but it is, objectively speaking, a truly fantastic fantasy car, and it's perfectly obvious why so many people love it. This is the Hot Wheels hero car if there ever was one. If there's ever a live-action Hot Wheels movie, this thing should absolutely be the main character's car. It's got all the makings of being an honorary mascot car for the brand. And it's one of the best from the early 2000s that's still alive and kicking nearly 25 years later. The Sling Shot gets a 10 out of 10. I still don't see it.